All right, so long day. I've been doing a lot. So this is what's up. I did get the bed pretty much done. For one, it is attached to the floor. Don't ask the crude, possibly lag screws that are holding it in. I cut the bed platform and the platform to be able to slide a lot easier. And then I used the, God, I always forget the name of that board. This stuff. To make the sides. So I also did this. I know it looks kind of weird, but there's the feet. I had these fucking eye bolts, and then they have the, well, I actually have a couple sitting over here. Or I had a couple sitting over here. Okay, well, I had a couple sitting over here in my hands about 5 seconds ago, and I no longer have them sitting in my hands. This is most of working in a shop, is just losing what the fuck you had in your hands 5 seconds ago. So I had some of these. Pounded those in, and originally used these tiny little things. They go with them. Those little feet, I figure would do just fine. That is too small. I just so happened to find the bolts that were a lot longer that used to be part of my truck shell, and they were the right thread pitch and length. So that's where it is. So that's it. No more angle. If I need a little bit more angle, I can pull them out. If I need a little less angle, I can screw them in. And everything's attached. Besides that, now, besides that this is good and moving freely, we're good to go pretty much. The only thing that needs to be done is the drawers need to be put back. But while I had them out, I realized I still had this bed shell liner that would look really good glued inside these drawers. So that's what I'm going to do, is put some bed liner or some liner in there. Kind of keep things like that are metal from constantly knocking around the wood. And kind of help out with that. So the only thing that needs done is I need to go to Walmart and get another roll of this stuff. I grabbed some and it was just a little itty bitty area. I thought that it was the expensive long piece to cover that up, so that you no longer see the wood. Otherwise, everything's looking great, and it's actually really easily slidable. Let me put the phone back and get a good angle here. So now, I can actually just do it with one hand from outside the car. I lift this bitch up. And we're ready to rock and roll. Just like that. Super easy. My seats all sit up and about, right where they're supposed to. That was a screw up here. Just like that. Rear seats are up. Bed platforms are deployed. That's how easy it would be to be able to just pick up your camp bed. Now there's a mattress on there. The mattress, in my opinion, is quite a bit too big. It's too tall, so I may or may not bring the rolls of foam back down and put those back in place, because the foam would be about right here. The mattress goes throughout here, so there's virtually no room. I could make my own sleeping mats, essentially, with the foam, and just roll them up and throw them in when we're ready to rock and roll and go camping, just like with the truck. The problem is that the length of the truck bed, or the width of the truck bed, was perfectly sized for those two mattresses. Those mattresses fit the same width of the bed. So I will end up cutting them. Not that that's a big problem, it just gets a little messy sometimes. And then I could maybe get like a custom sheet or something and make it kind of one cool mat. Or just leave it as is, one of the two. But I've got no problem. I'm going to get to gluing that stuff down over there, getting that done. I can even use a little bit of staples, I don't care on that. You know, make it really nice. And I want to get that done so I can put the drawers back. So once the drawers back and everything, this thing will be essentially done other than the fabric on top. But yeah, this thing is in there. It's not moving, it's not going anywhere. Before anybody asks a question, I did take everything out of there before it's sitting over by the drawers. What I'd really like to do with today's process is to get everything out of this little area here, and forget the drill. This stuff needs to be in this drawer. So that's my plan. If I can get that bed or this shell liner stuff, this utility fabric, installed in the drawers, then I can start on that next. So that's the next plan. Obviously I had installed the roll bar, or the push bar. So push bar is good. I'm just trucking along. Also, with how this is, it did give me room to access that a little better, as well as the side bits. If I want to put something in there, you know, if I want to throw some stuff in there, a rifle, whatever, I can. Rifle, all sorts of stuff. Rifle's just the first thing that comes to mind. But if I want to fold up my tarp and put it in there, I can. I have that option. I do have a little bit of space there. So that's the plan. I think it's coming along swimmingly. Honestly, I highly enjoyed this project. I'm really proud of how I've done on this truck so far. One major issue. I thought that this truck was like every other truck, and you get the spare tire by accessing an access hole somewhere over here, and putting a rod in and cranking the tire down. I was not aware that it is in this chamber. So, if I'd like to get my spare tire, I'd essentially have to take this out. That's obviously not going to fly, but that's a good reason to get myself a tire carrier. I would love a tire carrier with some fuel on the back, as well as a big heavy-duty jack one day. Obviously, I'd probably only carry the jack and the tire on a regular basis, but it'd be really nice to have a tire carrier. And I also know exactly the steel I would use to build it, and I know how to do it. Really easy. I would definitely think about doing it, but that's for a later date. First things first will actually be the awning, in my opinion. We're not going to be going camping yet, so I honestly don't think I'm in need of a spare tire right now. But honestly, if I had to get down, I'm just going to detach it from the dumb jack thingy and take that whole thing apart. I did come up with a plan for the awning. In the last video, I did explain how I'd like to essentially make something that slides into the vehicle's roof rail system. That's the plan. So after this, I might just tinker around with it, besides just kind of cleaning up this mess and getting the drawers finished. I'm going to kind of start looking at how I would do that. I do have some little pieces of aluminum over here, but I also do have this plated steel, that I could use. But I need to see how big and how thick those channels are, because anything that I do, I've got to obviously make sure it fits. It won't be too hard to do. Whatever I do will just lock down in the same manner as this does. But I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's very, very doable. I really think this is going to be like perfect. I'm just looking at the vehicle and imagining how it's going to go, and I think it's going to go really well. I'm super excited. The only thing I could see that might be a problem is my roof light, my light bar may be a problem, but honestly, I haven't even tested if that light bar is in a good spot. I may end up having to buy brackets that push it out in front of the vehicle. That's probably going to be or making brackets. Again, that is something I did last time. But honestly, buying brackets would be much more of an opinion for me, just because I don't like hard installing those brackets unless I have to. But that's the plan. Funny story, and it was really nice of Abby. Abby was like, you know, I'd really like to help pay for some of this. I'm like, why? And it's like, well, you made a point the other day that, you know, I seem to be fine with you spending money as long as it also benefits me. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I mean, I have a lot of hobbies that don't benefit you. And you're like, she's like, exactly. I don't bat an eye when you spend money on hobbies that don't, or that do affect me. Like, if we go camping, like, you know, spend all that money on the camping truck because it's gonna like benefit me. But, you know, spend $400 that you sold your car for and buy a gun, and she loses her mind, and it was a big deal. So I ended up being kind of upset. Well, she's right. Honestly, she's perfectly right. It kind of did upset me that she got really pissed off at the fact that I bought a gun. But I spend money on building this bed platform. She doesn't really bat an eye. Or I talk about spending money on the awning. She doesn't bat an eye. Like, I spend money on the truck so that we can have a nice camping truck. Nothing. So she did. She was kind of like, I would like to maybe help spend money on that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I need right now for the awning. But, I mean, I guess if you really want to help, it would really help if I had a little bit of help paying for that. Honestly, it would. So that's going to be kind of nice. I mean, we'll see. I obviously need to design it really well and make sure it's perfect how I like it. and then get into it. So first things first, I kind of have to see the pivot point. Once I get the pivot point, I think I should be good to go. Honestly, once I can find out how to make the bracket, I think I can make everything else. Because once I get that bracket on, I can test how far out and which angle everything is. And I think it's going to work really well with this truck. So I'm going to start getting the tape measure on that here after I'm done with the drawers. Just get the tape measure on things, kind of see what's going on. I'm just kind of visualizing how this is going to look. Because it's going to be 8 feet from this point. So 8 feet out this way. And then over to here. And then this is 8 foot. And then 8 foot. So it's 8 foot, pretty much giant square. So it's 8, 16. So 16. I pretty much need 16 by 16 from that point, plus some for the accountation of the truck and the that. But so that has to be up. It has to be up a little taller than the bed platform, obviously, so I can open the drawers and get the that. So it actually has to be ever so slightly taller than that. I guess I didn't think about that either. Well, actually, I mean, yes and no. So I'll figure something out. It is, like I said, kind of a quick deployment type thing. Like when I go camping, I put it on the truck, we drive to where we're going. When we get to where we're camping, we deploy it. When we're done, we put it away. When we come back to the house, I take back off the truck. It's not like it needs to be exactly the prettiest, because it's not going to be on the truck all the time. It's going to be decently good looking. It's not going to look ugly, but it's going to be there. So I do have to note how tall up that has to be and things like that. So I think it's all about that. And once I can make that bracket, I think we're good to go. If I can make the bracket, at least then I can see where the poles go. Hell, and I think I could probably get the tarp. If I got the right size tarp that I know is going to be the right size, and I already have the one in my shopping cart at Lowe's, then I can drape it and kind of put it where it's going to go and kind of work from there, kind of see like, okay, this is doable, like this is doable, what it would look like going over the top, how high up the bracket needs to be because of the top, you know, stuff like that. Obviously, if it pushes up on it, that's fine, but I'd much rather it just be the right angle to dangle here, but I don't know if it's going to be, honestly. It might just push a little bit, which is fine. If it pushes up on there a little bit, that's fine. Honestly, no problem at all. I don't think it'll be a problem at all. We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. You know, if I have to, I think I have a way to make it a little bit more flexible than I can. But let's just find out what I come up with and I start measuring things. So it turns out I'm a little bit more of a genius than I thought I was. I'm just kidding. So I got fucking sidetracked. I know I said I wasn't gonna fuck with this today, but I did. I'm following. Okay, there we go. So that's on there. I know it doesn't, I haven't tightened it down. That's on there. And it can also just come off. Like if I just loosen this, it just comes off. So what I did was, you know what? Will that stay there for a second? Oh, it's because of the... Okay, well, fuck. It's stuck. It hasn't gotten stuck this whole time. I've been getting it fucking out. Well, son of a bitch. This whole time, it hasn't gotten stuck once, and all of a sudden it's getting stuck now. What the fuck? Give me a second. Yeah. Why is it always the hand I can feel shit in, not the hand I can't feel shit in? Anyway. Oh, like I said, I got a little stuck there. This is it. As you can see, focus. This is it. I know it's not pretty because there's this tag on there, but I got a rivet that goes up through and bolts to that. That is just enough distance right there to get done what I need to get done. And I know it's a little big. I left it a little big in case I had to make it a little smaller or needed the room just in case. Oh, I did cut myself pretty decently. Whatever. Obviously it needs sanded. so that it's not so fucking sharp. Yeah, that's it. What I'll do is, and then you can see real quick. Why is this not zoomed out? There we go. Still falling. As you can see, all you got to do, and I think I might do it this way versus the way I just did it, because that's the way I've been doing it when it hasn't been getting stuck. Let me just see if I can put this here. Actually, can I let's just leave it there for a second. So you just push down the tab, it just slides right over it. Sometimes, most of the time. I've been doing it at more of an angle, so it actually goes in. And then you just tighten down that bolt. Of course, you tighten it down with a socket or a wrench so that it actually doesn't move, but there you have it. And then it just stays right here. It can even go all the way back to the back of that, so it doesn't slide backwards anymore. And I don't have to make some way for it to fucking lock in those. And that's it right there. So problems I could foresee happening is, yes, it moving. Of course, that is taking a lot. I could push myself before I could even fucking get that to move. Next thing would be what I was thinking about doing, and I think I realized why I flipped this around. I already realized why I flipped this around. Maybe I'll just leave it as is attaching this here. Yeah, no, okay. I will have to close this real quick. Let's see if I can just... Bingo. I don't really have to loosen it that much, but this is why. So I still have the ability to push down the tab, so I can get over this lip of the rivet. But that's okay. I'll figure that out later. I'll just put that there, like I said, tighten that sucker down. There she is. So what I want to do is I'm going to attach this probably right here. This obviously will actually maybe be possibly this tall, and it also needs to be level to everything. So it'll be level, and it'll be attached to this piece of square tube exactly kind of how I have it. Now, and then I'll put another piece of small square tube up above. That will be my C bracket. Now I can make that as big as I want. If I need it here, or here, or here, it needs to be on the other side of the bolt. That will allow plenty of space for the bolt that I will actually mount using this. So on both of these pieces, there will be a long piece of rod, or probably or a bolt or something. Probably I could also do a rod welded on the inside, and then on both sides, and then the conduit endings will be here. So, and then this is just for obviously the support, because obviously I can't have just a floating piece of metal here. And depending on how much I need, I may actually have a small amount that I can use of square steel. If I have to buy another little itty bitty chunk, I can. So the next step would be getting a rod and also getting the conduit ends, so I know how tall I have to make that. Now, a big problem that I thought I faced, but I don't think I did, is obviously the lift gate being up. I was like, oh man, that metal's gonna break and bend, and I thought, I'm not gonna deploy it with the tailgate up. With the tailgate down, it's not in the way of deployment. With it up, it might push on the tarp a little bit, but that'll be just fine. Honestly, if anything, it just pushes the tarp up. Not a big deal. That'll actually keep water from accumulating in the middle. And at night, if the tarp and tent and everything is down, then the tailgate will just be closed anyway. Obviously, the door won't be in the way because it's quite a bit higher than the door. So that's the kind of the next step. That is definitely tall enough for me to be comfortable underneath here. And that should be it. That's pretty good. I at least figured out the mounting. And the same thing can be said. I've got a ton of that extra square. Actually, I had a decent, chunk of this square, this flat steel. I should be able to make a whole nother 2 pieces to be used with a couple more of these. Because these are obviously these aren't exactly the ones because these are huge. These are 1 inch or 2 inch, something. No, 1 inch. These will be attached to the slide, just like the other one, riveted up and tightened down. But these will probably be more permanently mounted, so I can just tighten those suckers down and not care. Because when I want to deploy it, so when it's on the truck, the one main tube will go to this one, which will be over here. So it'll be attached over here, just like that. So that one tube will be attached, going down that row there. On the other side, I'll have one like this, so that when I do deploy it, I can just put the tube into this and tighten that down, and then it's got the spot for it. Now, if I have to do it this way, I'll have to obviously get another piece of like square tube or something and attach it this way, and then open it up and tighten it down. I don't know. I kind of am figuring it out as I go. It depends on how much flex I end up having when I deploy this. And the tubes and everything. So I don't think it'll be a problem. I think I'm pretty good. I think that's great. I'm very happy with the fact that I just so happened to be looking around in my stuff, found some square tube that was perfect to do it, and there I am. So I'm gonna stop on that. I'll probably just leave that piece of steel up there. Like, I don't give a fuck for right now. But like I said, I'm definitely gonna have to get, I don't know how tall it needs to be, so I don't know. I could probably theorize and put, if they're half-inch conduit pieces, that means they're slightly more than half an inch. So if I mean, obviously half an inch, 2 inches. So that's 1, 2, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 arms altogether. That would be obviously 3 inches tall, which I think I definitely had more than 3 inches there. Yeah, there's definitely more than 3 inches here, plus or minus half an inch here and on both sides. So I probably have enough with just this piece, but I still will need another small chunk for the top. I may have that in there. I don't know. I didn't look. I honestly have this whole thing of steel, this whole bin of just steel sitting here. So I'm kind of just looking here whenever I need shit. So we'll see. If I find something cool, if I don't, I don't, you know. Honestly, actually, look at that. Speaking of those brackets for the these are the brackets that fit the Mazda Tribute bar. Of course, like I said, I want something that, but that would actually be really funny if that fit. I know they're both in there, so who knows? Maybe I can use these, rivet it, and get that done. But anyway, because I could definitely foresee that being a problem. The bar has to go pretty much straight out that direction from right here. I think it'll clear those other two things, but it definitely needs to go past the light bar. Unless I make it exactly to the light bar. It goes exactly to the light bar. It is getting mighty cold out here. I'm gonna start working on the drawers. And then, like I said, probably cleaning up. I like to make sure everything's cleaned up, especially because tomorrow I might have my buddy Joe come over and I'm gonna help him work on his truck a little bit. So that's the plan. I'm glad I kind of just figured that out. Super easy to figure out. Honestly, I'm really, really happy with that. You know, I can weld anything I need to. I'll put my mind to it. So I got to get these drawers done so I can get things put together. That'll be my next goal. Like I said, I did kind of rethink my strategy on getting a nice switch panel. I think I might get some switches that I like and put them along the roof, like the inside roof console, and it'll look really nice. But I got to kind of see what I want to do. Again, just kind of about seeing what I want to do and what I like and what looks the most professional, while still trying to keep it, yeah, on a little bit of a budget. Like, you know, I'm about to move and I'm trying to keep things slightly on a budget, sue me. So that's my plan. I'm gonna go get this stuff stapled in there. I'll let you guys know when it's done.